Welcome to TJK Reacts. My name is Tyler. I got a bit of a different video idea. I thought it would be kind of cool if I were to go through and list out a couple of the groups that I personally have my eye on and groups that I personally think, if you haven't been checking them out, that I think that you should check them out. We're gonna test it out with just groups. I'll probably revisit this and do solo artists that I think you should keep an eye out. These are, of course, all subjective. It's opinion based and whatever. So, you know, you'll probably disagree with me, but that's the fun of it. I think is a cool little concept. I tried my best to narrow it down to 5 groups, no particular order. Okay, there is no hierarchy here. Before we start a war, this is for funds. Here's what we got. For my first group that came to my head immediately, a group that y'all need to keep an eye out for if you haven't already, Triple S. Hear me out on Triple S, okay? They're a full group now. Back in May, they debuted as the full 24 member group. Now pause, hold on. It's 24, it's crazy, I know. I had the same reaction at first too. 24 is wow. But I've been going through their discography and their music stands out to me so much. They have such a unique flair. Music taste overall is just different over there, okay? I want to throw a specific nod at the Assemble 24 album to debut all 24 members. Right now, as of August the 13th, that is my album of the year candidate. #1 for me right now. That album from top to bottom is just, to me, a production masterclass. They had everything down perfectly. I think that their company, Modhouse, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce the company name still. I think they just did an excellent job. I think the members did a fantastic job performing. The title track, Girls Never Die, I quite enjoyed it. I think I still had Rising a little bit above it, but overall the discography is just, it's there. Still going back to the other albums, so don't worry, those are gonna come. Trust me on that. This group to me is just a can't miss. You need to be there. You need to check out their discography. If you've been holding out, you need to just listen to their music. But at the very least, I'm very interested and I'm very impressed with what's going on with Triple S. The production is there. The visuals, the vocals, they are there. Another cool note with Triple S is they are in a company with another one of my groups that I think that you should keep an eye out for, that you should give a chance to if you haven't already. A lot of y'all have already seen this coming from a mile away. The second group shares a company label with Triple S, and that is Artemis. What more can I say about Artemis? If you're living under a rock, I've been having a Luna marathon binge over on Patreon, basically getting acclimated to anything that is Luna related, learning all the members. And this all was sparked because of Artemis. That group from top to bottom is constructed in a way where it's really just a group of soloists. Every facet that you could think of, from rap to vocals to visuals to, you know, dancing performers, and threw them into this condensed version of what was previously the full group Luna. All 5 of them make up Artemis, and my first initial introduction to them would be Heejin and Hasiel on their solos. But if you go down the list, specifically with their Doll album release, from top to bottom, that album was hitting on some levels. I, in particular, want to give a shout out to Distress off the Doll album in my Discord, and I was linked to check out a song that was unreleased that they were planning to drop in the full album package that dropped on the 31st, I believe. Distress was played as a teaser. I think that is just a top song. For me, it's a top song of all time. I'm not gonna say, you know, the top song of all time, but that is very, very good. I love the production twist that they went with for that song in particular. It is a standout among the others on that list. But if you go down the list for the Doll album, I mean, you still had Sparkle, which is stuck in my head right now as I'm going over Artemis. Distress is my favorite off that album, hands down. But Sparkle going through my head. Candy Crush, what a great visual concept. The roller rink vibes, the just throwback retro style that they're going with, and of course the visuals. I gotta talk about the visuals. I gotta talk about the visuals. Great video. And Candy Crush is probably second. Unfair, Butterfly Effect, Birth. If you didn't see my reaction to Birth, almost I was ready to fight. That had me on edge. It was like watching a movie, dude. Now this is kind of a cheat, but this is still along the lines. I'm kind of tiptoeing on the lines here of Artemis and a whole nother group, but I think this counts. I want to shout out Odd Eye Circle because that's the trio for Artemis of just Jin, Kim, and Chori. Okay, that group also, if Triple S did not drop the heat that they did, I probably would. Well, actually, technically, I can't list the Artemis Odd Eye Circle album drop as album of the year, because if I remember correctly, it dropped in 2023. 2023 is when they dropped the Odd Eye Circle album, so I can't list that as album of the year. But if I had found that then, that would have been a clear album of the year for me, probably. Shout out to Odd Eye Circle, specifically the Artemis version of Odd Eye Circle, less so the Luna version, at least for me. Again, this is all subjective. So had Triple S, we had Artemis. Now this one right here, is why this group is why my channel is where it's at right now. This group, you know, immediately caught my attention before I created this channel. It has maintained my interest, and at this point in time is probably along with every other group that's on this list. But when I hear them drop, I just know I gotta record as soon as I can. But come on, XG, stand up. It's XG, bruh. It has to be XG. What a phenomenal group. Again, from top to bottom, XG is that group is just soaring to heights that I'm happy personally that they are getting to. When I first had heard of the group XG, it was with Left Right and Shooting Star. It just happened to play on a random shuffle, and I listened to those songs and I thought, this is different. This is unique to K-pop as a whole. This is unique to the genre. They're doing something new here. Left Right to this day holds the top spot for my favorite XG song of all time. Full stop. They are still a newer group, so I mean, they got a good amount of discography out. It's not like a overwhelming amount yet, you know. It's easy to get into XG. If you haven't heard of XG yet, but you are in the K-pop space, I don't know how you've avoided this, but here's your little nod to like, hey, check out something by XG. Okay, just start from the beginning, work your way up to current day, or do it backwards, current day, and then go back to the beginning. But I personally have every single song and music video by them as a standout. Their new stuff is hitting on levels that I expect from them. Let's talk about in particular Woke Up. That song, I absolutely adored that comeback. That was sick. You know, it's right up there with the works of, you know, Girl Gang, Undefeated, their collab with Valorant. Have X Gene. That group has some heavy rap inspiration in a lot of their, or rap hip hop inspiration in a lot of their music. Now, let me also say, because I know there's going to be comments by the alpha fan base saying it's not K-pop, it's X-pop. They invented a new genre on it. Look, I'm not gonna hate on that, okay? That's cool, that's sick. But let's just, for the sake of simplicity, let's just go based off where they're training, where they trained, where they're promoting, you know? It's a Japanese group, but they trained in Korea to be K-pop idols. So we're just gonna go with that. I understand, you know, they're doing something new, and that's why they're on this list, okay? Aside from their hip hop and rap heavy hitters, those tracks that I just listed, slow it down. We listen to Left Right with the R&B hip hop flow, early 2000s, just rich. The production is there, both vocally and visually. Every single one of these girls in this group, from top to bottom, is a performer. If you know me on this group, Chisa is a standout to me, visually, performance wise. Oh my god. But on a real though, I could rock with any of them. Maya, Juri, Harvey, Juria, Kakona, not all of them are just on a level of solo artistry, but they just happen to be in a group. If you were to force any of them to go solo, they could do it. I could see a solo career for any one of these members plucked out of the group, and I think that's very good, very unique to have, because you have that diversity. Everybody can fill in a role. There's not a single person in there that can't sing. There's not a single person in there that can't rap. Seeing the construction of it, I see why they were so meticulous. So that was cool. I got my eyes out on this group heavy. They dropped Something Ain't Right 3 weeks ago. They got a comeback coming in November the 8th. Let's pause for a second, right? We got some heavy hitters. We got some fun groups so far. You know, how you doing so far? You doing good? I want to know in the comments, what would be your top 5 groups for 2024 that have stood out to you and are on your list to keep an eye out for moving forward? I was actually gonna pick to talk about one in particular first, but I'm noticing a trend with my list and a trend with my channel that just dawned on me. I'm realizing a lot of the groups that I had on the list are just female K-pop groups. Okay, my variety is not very wide. Apparently that is to change. I've gotten a lot of suggestions for male groups to check out. Because of that, let's switch it up. Kind of a dual suggestion. Okay, this is kind of a dual suggestion, which is cheating. Okay, I got NCT 127 in particular, 127, but also Ateez. And I'm kind of torn between these two groups right now. Neither of these groups are new news per se. You know, like NCT and Ateez have been around for a little bit now. I'll start with NCT. They recently just had the Walk album come back. After listening to it multiple times afterwards, this is their 6th full album release, by the way. But after listening to that album all the way through, I mean, a lot of what I mentioned in my initial reaction and to now is about the same. Just a solid album, top to bottom. They target a lot of genres in their music, and I like the fact that there's always some experimentation in their music. They showcase that all the time in their album releases, and they, you know, Walk is not at all an exception to that. One of the top songs off that album, in my opinion, okay, is Raindrop. Constructed from top to bottom, just a chef's kiss. If it was at a Michelin star restaurant, that is a full course 5-star meal. That is just amazing example of what, you know, 127 can throw down. But here's why I'm torn to bits right now. To me, the album, the World EP, I think it was Finn Will. By the way, fix your titles to your albums. Just make it something like Will. It dropped December 1st of 2023. It's not a 2024 drop. They dropped Golden Hour this year. I have yet to actually drop my full reaction to that album on the channel, so I won't go into too much detail on that. Okay, that's gonna be dropped on the channel. Ateez as a whole, that group has been doing like a slow crawl, like a slow creep up for me. And you know, each release, each drop gets better and better. The group is in a really good spot right now. Their magic lies in their B-sides, 100%. Their title tracks are great. I love pretty much all of their title tracks, but their B-sides is just, that's where it's at. And this is the year that I had really dove into that. And if you haven't done it, then I think that this is a group to keep an eye out, or continue to listen to them, or get back into them if you stop listening for a little bit. That was kind of cheating. I know it was kind of cheating because I put two and one, but fight me, I make the rules. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm still at 4 groups. Okay, that doesn't count as 5. Okay, now this group, I knew nothing about them at all prior. I didn't know about their debut. In fact, I thought this group was a guy group. It took my brother telling me to check them out. Just do it, trust me. Let me just say, I am not at all disappointed. It's a showcasing that has been shown for Badvillain. This group right here has got my attention. I am more than enthused to see where BPM takes this group. I went into it thinking this is a guy group. Then I saw the thumbnail of the video and I was like, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Am I going about this wrong? They ended up dropping the Overstep EP it's not really a mini album. It's sure as heck isn't an album. And as of now, they have Hurricane out as a full release. What I think really shines the brightest for this group, or their biggest charm, is their level of performance. Each one of the girls in this group is a standout performer. The choreo, it's elite. It is interesting. It keeps you entertained. It isn't just, you just can't get bored when looking at the live performances. Plus 82 is my favorite track by Badvillain. It's my favorite performance video by Badvillain. It is a level, it is like the pinnacle of performances for girl groups right now, in my opinion. That whole thing, if you haven't checked out Plus 82 by Badvillain, if you haven't checked out Badvillain, check them out. But if you're gonna start at, well, I guess start at the title track. Plus 82 has the music video, but it's not the title track. If I could be selfish, go to Plus 82. I think at the time it was like Emma and Chloe who were standouts to me in the group, but honestly each and every one of the members stands out. The vocals are there, the rapping is there, you know, everything makes sense, it just clicks. You can really buy into the fact that they're going hard off rip. They may have just debuted and all of that, but this group feels like it's been here a while. They kicked their foot through the door and now they're just punching the rest of the way through. They're here now. They've entered the building. Extremely excited to keep an eye out for this group and their progression moving forward. Literally, they haven't missed yet. There's only 4 tracks out for them, and they're 4 for 4 right now. Some little honorable mentions, of course, you know, Stray Kids, they were gonna make the list. Wavy with their recent comeback, that whole album. Also Stacy. Now this is a group that I'm still learning. This recent Stacy album drop is a heavy contender for album of the year for me. You know, Triple S is up there, Artemis is up there, but if I had to rank it, Triple S is number 1. Stacy is now sliding in at number 2. They fell into honorable mention purely because I couldn't narrow down the list to just my 5, so I'm cheating always. My next 2 are pretty fun too. This one out of left field, Rescene, very new group on the block. If you have not heard of Rescene, I think that you should check out the music that they have out currently. They debuted with Yo-Yo. The next song after that was The only thing that I worry about with this group is not just that they're a new group, but I am hoping that the company themselves is able to promote them pretty well to get their name out there. I think that this group would end up being slept on if not, and that's a real shame because I could see the talent there. It's a younger group, but they have a very good mature sound and feel for them. Nothing crazy obviously, but it's just a group that feels above the years that they've been in this game. You know, they haven't even been in a year yet. They debuted at the start February 29th of 2024, so it hasn't even been a year yet. My top honorable mention goes to Kiss of Life. I think some of y'all might actually be shocked that I didn't just put Kiss of Life in the top 5, but I had to narrow down the list, and it's real tough, dog. It is real tough. I should have just did a top 10. It would have been easier, but this kind of is. Kiss of Life, what a group. What a group. Midas Touch was a fantastic comeback. Their overall feel for them, love it. They hit that early Y2K 2000s vibe. This is basically the era that I grew up listening to with my sisters. My sisters for real grew up listening to music that Kiss of Life is dropping. I more so was just sort of there. Nothing is one of my favorite songs for Kiss of Life, hands down, period. I just like the early girl group, like R&B hip hop girl group vibes that they channel back in like the early 2000s. That's what this group embodies. It gives me a little bit of like Cheetah Girls and, you know, groups along that line. And you know, I think it fills a space. They fill a space in a void that the genre of K-pop doesn't really have many spots right now. Like there's not really anyone in that space, and I love the fact that they're doing that, and I love the fact that the group is seeing as much success doing it as they are. And I think with that being said, I'm cool with just leaving it there. You could count it as a top 5. I'm gonna call it a top 5. I don't care. Obviously there's a lot of groups out there. There's a lot of really good music. If you are a person who solely focuses on one group, and you know, that's just that. Me personally, you know, get it I guess, have fun, but you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. There's so much good music, so much good artistry out there to experience and to see and to enjoy, that why narrow yourself down to 1 or 2 groups and not, you know, explore the space and see what's really out there. If you enjoy this video, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Till next time, peace.